this is what we have done till now, right? So user and the shop details we were able to add from within the front end. Okay, so and let me say just say ng serve so that application will launch. And I will also need one more window command prompt window to start JSON server, right? So this is the folder where the JSON file is, and JSON server shop data.json. So that will start the fake REST API for us. Okay, so fake REST API is created, as you can see, localhost 3000, right? So today we will attempt to work to retrieve all the shop information and display it on the all shop page, and also attempt to work with search. I do not think we will get a time to implement the JWT and all that stuff. So for that, what I am going to do is I will continue creating the video. I am already screen recording these things, right? I'm already screen recording whatever I am doing. I have not yet updated it on YouTube, which I am planning to do over this weekend. I will get some time. I have to edit it and then update it, right? So I will be doing it over this weekend so that by Monday you should be having all the complete hands-on activity video on YouTube in the same playlist which I updated earlier, and I will email it to you as well once it is done. So that's where I would also be in the same playlist. I will be adding the activity for the JWT, that is JSON Web Token Authentication. That is something I will be doing with the help of JSON server only. I will explain you what I would be doing. Um, and when I do it, I will also explain at that time in the video, right? So you can, so that's that way we will be we will be completing the complete application with the authentication and authorization both, right? One authorization for the guest, that is non-registered user, one authorization for the uh, user of type visitor who should not be able to add the shop, and one authorization should be for the user of type shop owner who should be able to shop, yeah, at the shop, right? So finds this ng service not running. Okay, so it is done. Let me open the browser at localhost 4200. Yeah, so here we have our application, right? So add new shop is adding a new shop for us. Let's say shop owner name is a short owner name I cannot add, right? Because that is something which will be coming from the um, authentic after authentication process as to who which shop is logged in. Let's say, so that's what we have. Let's kind of click on add shop. Is the shop added? uh, did I implement reset? I think I have not implemented the business logic for reset shop, right? That will simply be resetting these fields back to the blank strings, nothing more. So let me see if the shop is added, because after addition of the shop, um, I should be getting the data back in the REST endpoint, right? So I will go and take a look over there at localhost 3000. That's where all the REST APIs are residing, right? One of them is slash shop. Yeah, got it. So shop is being added. So let us kind of go and add a couple of more shops. Good that I am not clearing the form after adding the shop. I can change certain things and it works. Let's say, and click on add shop. So if I go and take a look, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses added to it, right? So now the only thing which is remaining as in this form is to reset this form, right? When I click on reset, this form should be reset, and once I am done with the addition of the values, all these fields should be blank. So maybe I can go back to my source code and say to the add new shop component yes, once the shop is added, I can make it all blank again, right? So right from shop owner to this one, new shop. So this is already shop owner is already hard coded, so I can ignore this. So once the shop is added, I'm dumping in the console, right? So once the shop is added, I can make it all blank again, right? So new shop is again blank. I need not to redeclare it again. So I need to remove this any and all those things, right? So now once I add the shop, once it is added, all of the fields will be blank, and I can also kind of set them blank by clicking on the reset button. So let's click on add shop. You can see everything is turning back to blank, and of course the shop is also added, and you can see shop is technology is a player service. Sorry for that. Technology should not be having the player service. Again, so there is one more thing which is pending, which we did not implement. That is about edit shop, right? We should also be able to edit. Shop owner should also be able to edit the shop once the shop is added. And let's say, so for that, what we can do is once the shop owner logs in as a shop owner, then the add new shop page will show the this very same shop which shop owner can edit. Make sense? So very same shop with the shop owner which the shop owner can edit can be available over here. So you shop owner can kind of update the values and click on add shop once again, or maybe it should be updated to the update shop rather than the add shop. It should be update shop, right? So that way editing feature can be implemented. So for now, with this thing done, let us kind of go and focus on the reset button. And once the reset button is done, we will click work with all shops. And once the all shop is done, we will work with the shop detail, right? Let's work with reset button for now. So if I go to the add shop, add new shop component HTML, here you have on the click of this button, I want to call the kind of reset shop form. Make sense? So I need to kind of go and implement this function reset shop form inside add new shop component yes. So here I can say, and we are done ideally, right? So ideally this will kind of go ahead and reset the shop back to blank. Make sense? So if you everything will turn back to blank, right? The scratch state. And shop owner will contain the ID and the shop owner name over here, separated by the comma or something like that, so that at any point of time, anyways, this page will open only to the person who is logged in as a shop owner, right? It will not be open to the person who is logged in as a user or a visitor, right? So let's work with this all shops page now, right? So to work with all shops page, uh, we will need two things. Here we will have a search function. So ideally I will remove the search buttons, this search feature from here. We do not need this search feature from the header. I'll be having one search feature over here, typing in which will search the data over here in the live mode in real time, right? And over here the shops will be displayed as a cards, right? So let me remove this search feature from here. So ideally if you go to the home, no, so you get this search feature. So I do not need this as of now. So I need to remove this search feature from here. So I will need to go to the I think header, right? I think it is coming from header. Yeah, it's a navigation bar, and up here I have the search. So ideally I would want to use this search not here, but where? In the all shops page, right? So I will take it from here and put it here. So I can take this whole thing from here, Control X, and go to the all shops, component HTML, and over here maybe say div. I can have a div, and for this div I can give a class of container, right? So that it gets contained in one container that is coming from Bootstrap 4. This container is coming from Bootstrap 4, and in that I can implement paste that form field, right, wherein I want to do a search. So if you go and take a look now as to what you get, you got it, right? So is it not removed from here? Why did I not cut it from there? Oh, I did not save it. Sorry for that. Now it should go away. Yeah, it has gone. If you go and take a look, that thing has gone. So ideally, we can have some social media links over here, like Facebook, Twitter page links, and all those things over here, right? On the top right, you know, having them on the top of the page helps in the way that the visitor can click on those links and maybe follow our page on Twitter or follow our page on Facebook in that way. So let's come to all shops. That's where I'm going to create all shops. So all shops. So let me have one PR over here, so that comes in a new line. Yeah, that is okay. And once this all shop is done, I would want to implement the card, right? I would want to display all the shops in one card. So I need a card view now. Now card view I can take uh, from the Bootstrap 4 components documentation, right? So for now, let me implement two-way data binding in this search input type equal to search. So for this search, I can say input class type equal to search placeholder search. I can say um, ng model, right? I would want to do a two-way data binding for this input field. Is equal to what? Search string. So ideally, whatever I will punch in this text will come inside a variable called search string, and I can use this search string for my search. I can use it to search all the shops and display the results over here, right? So I can go to the all shop component ts and have this initialized, right, of type string initially is equal to blank. Make sense? If you go and take a look, if you punch in anything over here, sorry, if you're punching anything over here should be saved in the search string variable. You want to verify that? I can verify that by maybe displaying it over here. So if you punch in anything in this search field now, should be displayed outside the button. Why it is not coming? It is not coming over here. Why? So let me say type equal to text. Now okay. Not coming. Uh, Input ng model person dot first name. Ng model is used within form tag. Either name attribute must be set or form control must be defined as standalone. I did not set the first name. Hold on. Oh, name attribute. Sorry. I did not set the name attribute. No. Oh, my mistake. That's not. Anyways, I'm not going to use this name attribute as I do not have to save this data anywhere in the database. I do not have to capture the. You can see it is coming now, right? So ideally, I would want to put it over here. So whatever I punch in will be. So whatever I punch in over here should be searched in the list of shops down there. Fine. So okay, now let us focus on displaying the list of shops. So for that, I'm going to use the card view. Bootstrap 4 card view. So I'll go to Bootstrap 4 and over here go to the documentation. In the components view, uh, we should be having card here it is, right? Can you see? So there are quite a lot of cards we have over here. One is this div class equal to card. This one is this without any title, just a list view type cards. Then we have the card with the list view card, title, image, and the list view and two hyperlinks, right? So that is also a good case. And card with the only header and footer, card with some kind of featured text, right? So maybe you would want to put some featured shop over here. Card only with the image, card with the image on the left. So I would want to decide what kind of card I would want to display. There are so many cards and different views up here. Card with in the form of card group, right? So I may not want to display the card. So this is also something card deck. That is also a good idea. Card deck, right? So card deck. Then we have got individual cards inside card deck, right? So we have got a card deck, and in that we have got individual cards. So that's a good idea. So maybe what we can do is we can have this card in the card deck. We saw that card with the hyperlinks, no? This one. This one we can have in the card deck, right? This card we can have in card deck. So let me show that to you what I mean. So let me copy this. So I've copied the card, this card, right? This card. And let me also see other cards which we have. So we were already taking a look at card deck. This is also one way of displaying the card, which is in each row we have got only two cards. Here we have got each card to be consisting of four rows, right? Can you see? 4, 4, 4 threes are 12, right? 4 threes are 12. So, and this is like a Pinterest view wherein the cards are dispersed in three columns, but vertically they are okay, like kind of they will fit as per the height automatically. So different views for the different cards. Let us work with the card deck now, right? So ideally what I want is uh, I have card. Where is it? I already copied the code for the card, right? So if I go over here, I can say um, div in Bootstrap. I can start with class of a row, and after that I can have I can, let's say, div class is equal to call md4. So assuming that I want each column to be 4 dimension wide. So ideally each row is 12 dimension wide, right? So uh, I can have three sections of 4. Do you want to visualize that part? I will help you visualize that part. I will help you understand what I mean. Sorry. So this is column 1, or maybe I can say this is card 1. This is card 2. This is card 3. And what do they consist of? They consist of one row. Why one row? Because in one row we have got total of 12 columns. That's a rule in Bootstrap. So this is 4 plus 4 plus 4. Fourth is a 12. You want to take a look? You can go and take a look. See, card 1, card 2, card 3, right? So each divided into 12 columns. And just now the search thing is inside a container, so you can also put it all inside a container. Right, you can see the cards are in the container now. Though they are not visualized properly, I can help you visualize them properly by maybe giving them some kind of style. To the style, I can say, um, or maybe I can give them some kind of class, inbuilt class, right? Call MD4 and maybe my style. That's a class I have applied. My style 1, my style 2, and my style 3. So I can go and define this my style where inside my all subcomponent CSS, right? I can give it a background color of sky blue. My style 1, I can give a background color of sky blue. My style 2, I can give a background color of pink. My style 3, this is my style 3 and this is my style 2. Uh, this one I can give a background color of light golden rod yellow, right? Makes sense. So if you kind of go and take a look, you have the cards with the, oh, what happened? Background color. I need to give it a width and height also. Why do I need to give it a width and height? Why it is not coming? Hold on. I did not save it. Oh, now it will come. I did not save it all. Still not coming. Yeah, got it, right? Can you see? Blue, pink, and golden yellow. So maybe for this pink one was not seen, no? So I can give it light salmon. That will be visible. And I can give them some height also. Maybe 400 px. Just for the reference as of now, not for the permanent, because all this thing will be replaced by the card. I'm just trying to show you what I'm trying to do. Can you see? We have got it, right? So this color is not visible. I don't know why. This middle one, card 2 color, my style 2, I think is correct. Is the my style 2 not applied or what? Oh, it is 1 2, sorry. Right? So if you saw, we got the cards, right? So now if I, now the 12 columns are occupied with 4 4 4. That's the way bootstrap works. So now if I put in one more, maybe one more column, where will it go? Well, if I put in one more card, let's say I will make it card 4, and I will give it a my style maybe 2, for example. Right? Where will it go? It will scroll down, right? So now I've got two ways around. Either I go ahead and keep on adding the same card, keep on adding the card in the same row. It will keep on wrapping. The thing is, it on the single page, it will always have three cards, each of the four columns, each having four columns width. 4 plus 4 plus 4, that is 12. Anything more will wrap up and will keep on going. It will keep on going on like the same way, right? Or else what I can do is I can create one more row. Maybe let's remove this, and then I can kind of go and create one more row. Now depends on how I want to treat the things, right? So in that case, maybe I can say 3 2 1. Makes sense? So if you go and take a look now, you got it, right? So card 1, card 2, card 3, card 1, card 2, card 3, that is row 1, that is row 2. So ideally we are not required to do it like this. Ideally we need to replace this whole thing with one card, right? So let us kind of go ahead and do that. So where is my card? Card is over here. This, where is the card? I wanted to use card deck. I wanted to use this, right? I wanted to use this, and in this I wanted to use one card, right? So hold on, let us do some mix and match. So I wanted to use this card, right? So I can copy this off and paste it over here. Make sense? So this is what my card looks like. So ideally, I do not have any such image as of now, so that will not come. So, but if I want, I can always have the image. So hold on, let me see if I can get the image. So card is already there. Did I save it? Yes. So you can see card is already implemented over here, right? Without the image. So let me tell. This should not come over here, but here. So I would want an image also, right? To set up an image for the card. That's where you will get the real look and feel. So let me have one general image, one typical shop image, right? Let me take this shop image. Looks good. Looks okay. So I will save image as. I will save it in the assets folder because that's where all the images will come from, right? So in the Angular app, we have got this source folder, that assets folder. So ideally, this image, whatever image I have over here, should be the one which I pick from what you call, should be the one which I update as a shop owner, right? But as of now, let's assume that these images are all there in this folder. So I can call it like it is all shop images, and there I can call it a shop image, right? Shop.jpg, shop.jpg. Right? So I can use it now. So here it is from the assets folder, shop images. I want shop.jpg. Make sense? Let us see if it comes up over here. Oh, got it. Right? You saw, you got it, right? So ideally that is the way shop is going to display. So let me set this up in the DAC view, right? DAC view. We have our one card ready with some static content. So I need to replace this with the dynamic content coming from the REST API, number one, and number two, when I click on this card title or when I click on this image, I should go to the page wherein the shop details are displayed, right? So that's the view we have got. So what I need to do is I need to set up a DAC view now. So for the DAC view, what I need is the certain class. I need to copy and paste and reuse certain classes. So assuming I want this view, card DAC, card grid. Maybe this one is also okay, right? So I can say here is the card class, right? So this is where the card class is starting, which is this, right? Outside the card class, what do you have? You have set up, we have set up div class row. So we already have it over here, one of the class, right? So if you see, I let me show you what I mean. Let me copy this. I will paste it down there. I will explain you what I mean. So if you kind of go and take a look, your div class row column B4, that is 4 columns, contains each card, right? This div is where it starts here and say this is one div of column, right? Which is 4 columns wide. So it contains one card. This is again column B4. It contains one more card, right? That means what? This should be applied. This should be applied, as in our case, to this guy. Make sense? Because that is one card. Here it should be applied like this. Here it should be applied like this. Make sense? Let me remove this guy from here. Let me remove this extra row, no, from here. I do not want it. And after that, what do you see? You have got one div wherein the row is applied. Row is applied with row call 1 and row call MD3, and it starts here and ends towards the end of the class, right? Which is this div of ours, right? This one. It starts here and ends toward end. So I will copy this off and paste it here in place of a row. Make sense? Now I can remove this. I do not need this anymore. Save it. Now if you go and take a look in our shop, got it? We got the complete card view in place, right? So you can add a new line over here just in case. Right? Got it? So you can copy this card, the one which we have, and paste it over here. So you have the implementations of card, right? So you have got 3 shops on one card. Makes sense? So maybe you can also maybe increase the dimensions of this image a bit and give it a more better view. Let me see if I can get some better image also. Some wide image, little bit wide image, little bit wide. So this looks like little bit uh, wide image. This is also a wide image. I do not need much wide, just a little bit wide. So let me say I'm a bit choosy when it comes to images, huh? Uh, but at the end of the day, I do not end up getting the good images. So let me do it like this. Let me take this one. This one looks okay. It's an image. I will also call it shop, and it is what, PNG. Okay, it's not much work from my side, as I simply need to kind of go and update the uh, extension, and everything will just work. Oops. In that case, the previous one was more better, right? Okay, so let us go ahead with whatever we have. So ideally, this image name will also come from that backend, no? By a call to the REST API, because all of the shops will have a different images in that way. Make sense? So let's kind of go and try to implement the ng-for directive to get all the shop details, right? So, but for before that, we need to implement a service to get all the shop, get the JSON array, get an array of JSON data, and then render that array of JSON data over here. And but before I do that, let me see what will happen if I try to render a couple of more columns. That should all come down. Yeah, that is coming down, right? So let's kind of go and get the shop data now. We have implemented the user interface. Now it is all about getting the shop data. So for that, I will need to program the service. We already have shop service.ts, right? Wherein shop REST API is this, and add new shop is adding a shop to it. So maybe I can kind of go and say get all shops, a method, right? Wherein we are not receiving any parameter, and I will return this dot http dot. I will send a get request to what? This dot shop REST API. That's it. That should work, right? So I can kind of go and consume this where can I kind of go and consume this get all shops? I can go and consume this inside all shops component, right? Inside a TS file. So here I can consume it, but before I am able to consume it, I have to inject the service, right? Shop service of type shop service, right? So you can see shop service is injected. So now when the component is loaded, ideally when the component is loaded, at that time what will happen? After the call to a constructor, the first thing which will happen is the constructor call will happen. Second thing which will happen is the ng on init will be executed. So inside ng on init, and then only after ng on init is executed, the review is rendered. So I can say this dot shop service dot get all shops, right? And what I will do over here, once this is working, I will subscribe to it. So maybe I can have one variable over here wherein I can say shops of type any is an array. Subscribe. So what I will get back, I will either get back the response wherein I can work with the arrow function, or I will get back the error. Make sense? So if I get back the response, I will clg the response, console.log the response. And if I get back the error, what I will do, I will console.log the error. So ideally, if I get back the error, I should kind of go and redirect to the some error page, or maybe a data not found page or something like that, right? So that is also something we can do. And here I am getting the response which I am dumping in the console. Let us see what are we getting in the console, right? So if I open the Google Chrome Developer Tools in the console view, if you see, we are getting the array with 9 objects. Can you see? Did I add 3 values of future? I added 3 values of future, right? So one more thing should be there. If the values are not there, ideally, here also, as in this case, you can see uh, uh, the last shop does not have any data. So what I should do is that if the values are not there in the form, the button should be disabled, right? So and in add new shop, if the values are not there, all of them should be required, and if the values are not there, this add shop button should be disabled, right? So hold on, that's very important, or else what will happen if I click on add shop, the empty data will be inserted, right? If you see empty data is inserted, 2 empty data sets are there, so that should not happen. So as to avoid that, what we should do, we should disable this add shop button. So I missed out on that part. So for this HTML file, I can say for this add button, add shop button, I can programmatically set the disabled attribute, right? Is equal to what? Not. What's the name of the form? New shop form. Dot value. You already know what I am doing from our discussion which we did with ng form, with the template driven form, right? And for all the remaining fields, let me call them required, not read only. So shop name is required, address one is required, address to is required, city is required, state is required, pin code is required. Nothing is optional, everything is required, right? Services 1 is required, services 2 is also required. Let us punch it in. And text area is also required, and shop picture is optional, uh, right? So it makes sense. So if I kind of go and take a look now, this add shop button is disabled. That will be enabled only if I punch in the required values in all of them. Still it is disabled. Right now only it is enabled. Right, so you can see if I add it, the given dummy shop is already added in here. Makes sense. So I will ideally need to kind of go and delete this data, right? Because I may not need this dummy data. But anyways, let it be there for now, right? I will delete it later on. So let us focus on getting all this data in the in the all shops page, right? So if you kind of go and take a look at our component, which is all shop component.ts, we are already getting the shop, right? Console.log response is coming in, and if you go and take a look at the console.log response, see, you are getting an array with 11 elements, right? So you are getting the data. Now you can look through the data and display it in the using ng4. So, and but before I am able to do that, let me assign this response to whom? Shops, right? So I can say this dot shops is equal to response. So just so that we are able to verify that everything is working fine, I can look through the shops, right? So where is it that I should look? I should look in all shop component HTML. So that's where I go. And inside all shop component HTML, where is it that I should use ng for? I should use ng for in the element which is repetitive, which is repeating. So you can see over here what is repeating. Call MB4 is repeating, right? This is the one which is repeating. Call MB4 is repeating. So I should put ng4 over here. So I can say strict ng4 is equal to let shop of shops, right? Let shop of shops. So I would want to display the shop name first. So let me display shop name over here. So what is it? It is, sorry, it is shop name, shop name, this one, shop name. Shop name. Make sense? Okay. When I'm in this process, do I need the other cards? No, I do not need other cards ideally, because all of them will be printed as a part of iteration, right? So if you see, I need only one card, right? And I'm already printing the shop name, and I'm running ng4. So how many times will this div class call mb4, this column run, this block run? It will run till the length of shops, till the length of shops, right? So if you want to take a look, see, you just got the shop here. Make sense? And of course, the last two shops are empty, no? So this one and this one is empty, so there is no shop title. And this is the dummy data which I inserted last. right? So is it responsive? Yes, it is responsive, as you can see. And if you remember, our menu was not functioning on day one. No, on day one, you remember that our menu was this not opening properly because of some reason. I'm yet to troubleshoot it out. Uh, uh, is there- a valid error is not coming over here. So I will need to check as to what the problem is. Something is coming. Hold on. Let me clear the console. Click on this. Uncaught a type error cannot convert object to primitive value. I will need to check this as to why this is coming like this. But ideally, your shop is responsive, right? So you can further fine tune the user interface as per your need. Um, okay, so let us get the other data also. We already got the shop name. So let us get the description and some services and all those things, right? Let us get that. So maybe here I can get the description, right? Shop dot. What is it? Shop dot description. Okay, so this is a list item, right? So this is a list item wherein I can punch in these values, services 1 and services 2 and all those things. So shop.services 1, shop.services 2 in that way. Shop.services 1. So there are many things you can do. Right? This is just a raw idea, right? Maybe in the services one, you can ask the user to punch in only a limited set of values to describe his shop in, let's say, only 100 alphabets. In services two, you can get a big comma separated value. In services one, you can ask him to ask the shop owner to punch in only most typical and most USP relating unique selling profile kind of, unique services which he or she is giving. In services two, you can ask him to detail all the services by a comma separated value. So there are multiple ways in which you can make a user follow certain input validations. And list group 3, maybe you can punch in shop dot um, city, maybe, right? Or city should be okay. So you'll get to know where the shop is right from beginning, right? So, and over here you can say details. You want to take a look at the shop details. Make sense? And um, what else you can punch in? There's nothing more to do. And then maybe you can say you can have one link to display a shop owner profile or something like that, but that should not be required. So maybe I can go ahead and remove this. I do not need this. So if you go and take a look now inside the shop, you should have all the valid data in there. right? So depending on what you are getting all the data over here. Got it? So now just you can see one thing over here. Now since this for this guy the services one is and services 2 is only one line, and for this guy services 1 and services 1 and services 2 are two lines. That now that's the reason width is height is increasing. So what maybe you can do is you can make a user, you can maybe strip off the extra text from here, or you can make a user punch in only a required text in services 1, and that is what you display over here. In services 2 ka content you do not display over here, as simple as that. Services 2 ka content will come in the details page. So ideally now what I have to do is I have to maybe click on this details and go to the internal page wherein the shop details are displayed, right? So you can see this too was the empty data, right? This is the empty data. You can see from here we got the empty data. That's the reason you got this empty data over here. And this is the dummy data which we inserted, which is this one, right? So our shop all shops view is also done. So let's kind of go and work with shop detail view. So ideally when I click on this detail, what should happen? um, I should redirect myself to the shop detail page, right? And have the layout over here so as to get the details, right? Wherein the image will be displayed on the left. Here some shop name and all those things will be displayed in the big and bold in that way, right? So, and once we are done with this, I think I can go ahead and work with the search filter, right? Wherein I can search something and the shop is the kind of whatever the results are searched over here and automatically filtered. And after that, we can go and work with the authentication part. So I think by that won't be happening today because we do not have time. And anyways, today is the last session. We are wrapping up today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to uh, record it the way I'm already doing it and publish it on YouTube, right? So you will be able to see all the videos which I have worked on till date. That is all the videos of this week and the videos of screen recording of implementation of JWT also on the what you call on YouTube in the same playlist, right? So let's work with shop detail view. So ideally when I click on this, I should go to the page wherein the shop detail, that is this page, right? Shop detail page. So let us implement that part first. So ideally when I click on detail, right? Click on detail. So maybe I will write a click handler over here, right? So maybe I can say shop detail page, right? That's a function I want to call, and to that function I will send this shop as a parameter so that I know what shop I am clicking on. Make sense? So shop detail page. So for that I will need to go and program it in my TS file. So here I am in the TS file. Shop detail page is a function. So I will implement it as an arrow function. And what am I receiving as a parameter? A shop. Makes sense? So I will always get to know what shop I am clicking on. How do I do that? Let me say just say CLG of shop, right? Let me just display the shop, whatever I have clicked on. So that should do the job for me. So So let me go and test it out. I will open the Google Chrome Developer Tools. So if I click on this, the one with the stack tailors, see, okay, what happened? Oh, sorry. I setting up the hyperlink, so I do not need this hyperlink over here. That should not be there, or else what will happen? It will always redirect to the what do you call? It will always redirect to the home page in that way, right? So I have removed the hyperlink from here. Now it should all work fine. So if you go and test it again, go to all shops, right? And here let's click on this CAS training. Click on oops details. So you see it's coming over here. So it's not hyperlink. So I can maybe on mouse over change the color of this to something else and change the mouse pointer to something else, right? So hold on. I can come over here. The class is card link, or let me give the thing to give one more class which is active link, right? So I can copy this and write a class for the same. I will go to all shops component CSS. I do not need all these things now, right? So for the active link, I can say cursor is what? Pointer. So if you go and take a look now, see it is changing to pointer, right? We can also change the color of the same. Color, initial color is, let's say, blue. Makes sense? And if you go and take a look, you can see it is blue now, right? Blue. And when I bring my mouse over it, maybe I can make it bold. So I can implement a pseudo class called hover, right? And at that time change it over to maybe font uh, style to weight to, I am changing font weight to bold, right? So what will happen is when I will bring my mouse on it, it will become bold. Make sense? Right? I can click on it and I will see what I'm clicking on. I'm clicking on CWT technologies. Here if I click on it, I'm clicking on future technologies, right? So I'm getting to know what is it that I'm clicking on. So let's take it further. So now when I click on this, I need to route myself to the shop detail page, right? That's what I would want to do. So for that, I would want to use the router service, the one which we did in our previous example also, right? So I will go ahead to my code and inside my all shop component ds, and over here create an instance of type router service. That is also one of the inbuilt service, router service. I need to inject it, so I can say private router of type what, router. So can you see, this is what I'm going to use. You can see it is being auto imported from @angular router, right? A service that provides navigation and URL manipulation capabilities. So ideally, using this service, I can programmatically implement my navigation. So this is what I would want to use. So ideally, and when I use it to navigate to a different page, different route, to that route, I will send this shop as a parameter. Let me show you what I mean. So what I can do is, I can say this dot, once I'm in this function, I can say this dot router. Router is the instance name, right? Router is the instance name. So if you will see, you will get the method over here called navigate. That's what we are going to use. This dot router dot navigate, and it will take an array as a parameter, wherein the first array value will be to what route do I want to navigate. So to what route do I want to navigate to? I want to navigate to the shop detail route, right? Shop detail route. That's my route, right? And number two, what is the parameter I want to send there? So I want to send shop dot id, isn't it? So if you click on this all shops, for example, and you click on the details, then you have something called shop.id. That's what you want to send, right? Because that, with the help of that ID only, you will be able to retrieve the shop details. So you want to send shop.id, and that's it. We are done. So let's kind of go and see whether we are able to receive this shop.id in the shop detail route or not. So what is the shop detail route related to? If you go and take a look at the routing module, app routing module, so you can see shop detail route is related to what? Shop detail. So there's one more thing over here. So if you click on this, see, if you click on this, if you click on this, I'm going to the shop detail page. I should be going to the shop detail page, which I'm not going. It is saying that cannot match any routes. Why? Because the routes are of format shop detail /6. You can see routes are of format shop detail /5. Routes are of format shop detail /4. So ideally what is happening is shop detail route is of format shop detail /number. But what is it that we are working with over here? Just a shop detail. So I need to change it. It should be shop detail /id. So this ID will change. Make sense? This ID will change. So I think I'm writing a Java Spring Boot way. It should ideally be colon ID. So this ID will change, right? Or maybe you can call it shop ID, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. So now if you see, now since the route is matching, if you go and take a look, click on this. See, I'm coming on shop detail page, right? Can you see? If I click on this, let's say future technologies or stack technologies, I'm coming here with the ID of 4. That's what the shop ID is, right? For the stack detail. In the same way, when I click on, let's say CWT technologies, I'm coming with the shop ID of 8. That's what the CWT technologies is, right? This one, ID is 8. Makes sense? So things are working fine. So here, I need to capture this ID now on this page and query the REST API so as to get me the shop with the ID of 8 or shop with the ID of 5, whatever it is. So I need to go to my shop detail component, and now I'm not able to go right directly. Why? Because I can go to the shop detail component only from here. So I need to go to the shop detail component and over here retrieve this ID. So for that, I will go to the shop detail component. Here it is, and retrieve the ID. Now there is only one way to come to the shop detail component, right? That is by clicking on the detail, because that is what is the route. If I click on this shop detail directly, it will not work because it does not give it an ID. So it's a good idea to go to the app component HTML or wherever the navigation is defined. So navigation I think is defined inside the header now. And from there, remove a link to the shop detail, right? Remove that li block. Done. So we should be good now. So now if you go see and take a look, there is no way you can go to the shop detail. You can go to the shop detail only from within the all shops page, right? So that resolves one issue. Okay, here I want to retrieve this ID. So for that, I will go to the shop detail TS file, and inside a shop detail TS file, I want to use something called activated route, right? So again, that is something I have to inject over here. So private uh, active route is of type what? Activated route. Now, activated route is also a service which allows us to, which exposes certain methods which will work with the active route, currently active route. So maybe I can say over here in ng on init, I can say um, console.log this dot. Let us see what does this active route contain, right? Depending on, so that is what will be dumped in the console. So if I go back to my page, can you see activated route is there, and here you have got this this dot uh, component is shop detail component. We have got a query params, we have got a params, and we have got a value shop IDs too. That's what we want, right? We need a shop ID only. So URL, let me go back to our shops. Let's click on this stack tailors. So as you can see, we have got the activated route. Let me clear this so that things are clear. I will go to all shops again. Click on, let's say, stack tailors. You can see we have got the activated route. Inside activated route, we have got the snapshot, wherein we have got params and the shop ID. Make sense? So I can take this now. This dot active route dot snapshot dot params dot shop ID. Let me see what is it that I get. So I can go back to the console and say what? CLG this dot active route dot snapshot dot params. That was it, right? Snapshot dot params dot shop ID. If I go and take a look now, let me go to the all shops, clear the console, click on CES training. Yeah, we got the ID of 3, right? That's what we want, right? So once we have the handhold of the ID, I can call the service again and get the shop details with the respective ID, right, from the shop's REST API. So maybe I can say I can have a variable over here, click shop ID, click the shop ID of type number is equal to, initially let it be 0, right? So I can say, or maybe initially let it be null. So I can say this dot clicked shop ID is equal to parse int. So assuming that whatever which comes should be in integer format only. What? Here it will go. Right, so we will get this clicked shop ID which we can send further to the shop service. So I will need to inject the shop service over here in the constructor of type what? Shop service. Makes sense. So I can, so ideally I do not have a method in the shop service as yet to get the shop by ID. So let me kind of go and implement it. So I can say get shop by ID. Makes sense. And I will be receiving the ID over here. So I will return this dot http dot get what this dot shop REST API. To the shop REST API, how is it that I get the shop with this specific ID? I need to concatenate. I need to concatenate the ID, right? That's what will create a whole URL, isn't it? What I mean is this: if you kind of go and take a look, let's say I want to get a shop with the ID of 1. This is what I want. I got a shop with the ID of 1. Let's say I want to get a shop with the ID of 3. If I attempt to get the shop with the ID which does not exist, it will get me an empty JSON object. Make sense? Got it? So that's what I mean. So ideally, this is coming from the JSON server, right? So this URL is being formulated by the JSON server. So ideally, it will return with the shop with the given ID, complete details, complete shop object as an observable. So I can go back to my shop detail component.ts and over here say what? This dot shop service dot get shop by ID, right? To that I will send whatever this clicked shop ID is. Make sense? And then I will subscribe to it. So ideally when I would be subscribing to it, I will get a response. Either I will get a response or I will get an error. So if I get an error, ideally I should redirect a user, navigate a user programmatically to some components view, right? A default error page or something like that. So let us work with these scenarios now. And if there is error, I will get an error, right? So let me just console.log response over here and console.log error over here. So let us see what do we get in console.log for response. I believe we should be getting this given shop for which the details has been requested, right? So if you go and take a look now inside Google Chrome Developer Tools, let us go to our shops, clear the console for cast training. You see you got it, right? So cast training, you got the shop details. The only point you need now is to display this shop details in the view, right? That is over here. Okay, so that should be more of a bootstrap and the UI job, right? I think with whatever we have done till now, that should be super easy for you. That should not be difficult as to displaying the shop details over here in the view, wherein the image comes over here and the details come over here. So as of now, let me work with something wherein some complexity would be there, which is about getting this search feature, right? Getting this search feature. So if you go and take a look, where whatever I punch in here is coming inside that search string, right? On all shops component. If you go and take a look at the all shops component, whatever I type in here, search mail is coming in the search string. So I can use that. Ideally I can use that for my search, right? So ideally for that I will be using a pipe, right? For that I will be using a pipe. So I can do it like this. So I have to search the shops, right? I have to search the shop. So I can use a pipe over here, and maybe I can say I want to use a pipe called search filter. Make sense? So this pipe does not exist yet. This pipe with the name of search filter does not exist yet. I will be creating it in next few minutes. And to that I will pass the parameter which is what? Search string. Make sense? Whatever I type in here is passed to the search filter. So that will filter my shops array as such all in real time. Right? So hold on. Let's see how it all works. So I need to create this filter called search filter. So I will go to my command prompt. We are getting the error because that pipe does not exist yet, right? So I will open a new window and create a new pipe. So ng generate pipe, right? I want to generate a pipe inside shop, and inside pipe, inside shop I will create a pipe, and in that I will create a pipe called search filter. Make sense? Can you see? The search filter pipe is created and it has updated a root module. You can see it is done, right? Okay, so let us kind of go and work with this pipe now. So here I am in this pipe where the name of the pipe is search filter. That means this thing. So as of now, since this search filter is returning null, so if you go and take a look at your page, there shouldn't be any data in the page. In the page, there shouldn't be any data, right? All shops, ideally, search filter could not be found. Why? It is the found now, right? It is found now. Everything is saved. Search filter. I think this is the same pipe I'm using. Yeah, we go to all shops, right? So now data is not coming over here, though it is coming in the page, but it is not displaying over here. Why? Because I associated this search filter with the search string. I associated this pipe with the shops array now, and then made it work such that search filter and applied search filter pipe on it, and so that when the search filter pipe gets called, it returns null. Since it is returning null, that's the reason we are not kind of um, getting any data over here. So what maybe I can do is um, I can say if I can say we can check over here. So ideally what is happening is even to this filter we are passing the parameter, right? So initially if the parameters are not there, if this is not there, if the search string as an argument is not passed, then I can display the shops as such, right? So maybe I can check over here if args is equal to undefined, right? So what is the argument we are going to pass over here? We are not going to pass an array, and argument is going to be of type, let's say, string, right? So or maybe of type any. So if args is undefined, then what I can say, I can return this value as such. So what will happen? This value will be returned as such. So now if you kind of go and take a look, all the data should be displayed, not displayed. Data is not being displayed over here. What is it that I'm doing? Or maybe I can say is equal to it's a space, right? And the argument is blank. Oh, now it works, right? If the argument is blank, that means I should return the value as such, right? But if the argument contains any data, see, it is going away, right? So I can say I can run a filter on it. Return value dot. I can have a filter function. Ideally, this value is an array, right? Is an array, right? So I can run a filter function on it. Filter, right? I can run filter only on array, and filter will take the callback function for each value, each shop ideally. So what it will do? It will return only those shops which are filtered. I can say return shop dot shop name dot to. I would want to make it case insensitive. Includes what? Hogs dot to. So ideally, I'm checking for the condition, that is whatever I pass in the arguments that is should be present in the shop name. So I'm going to filter with the shop name. So let us see what do we get now. If you go and see, if I type in, let's say S, it's not working. T, yeah, it's working. So ST, only two with the stack tailors, right? So if I say C A, so why it is not capturing the first alphabet, that I will need to check. Or maybe I say F U, right? Can you see three instances of filter? So it is being filtered in the real time. Though it is not a completely functional filter, but yeah, it is working fine. So CWT has got well, let's see if I say training TR, right? Only one training. Attack E. So TEMA, we have got CWT technologies and stack technologies. So CH C. So now it works. So ideally, if you punch in the string which is not a valid string, all the data will go away. Right, so that is also needs to be addressed as to how to handle a scenario wherein let's say if I punch in some bad data, everything goes away, right? So that should be handled. It should say invalid data rather than rather than hiding all the shops from the page. It should display that not a valid string in that way, or search result not found in that way. So that is all from my side for today. Going forward, I have got certain to-do list to do for you people. One thing, I would be implementing the JSON web server. I would also be implementing this page, shop detail page. Ideally, shop detail is all working. We are getting the shop in this page, right? You can see whatever shop I clicked on with the ID of one. We are already getting. It's only the matter of displaying it in the bootstrap over here. So that is what I would be doing. And I would be recording it all. And even for JWT, I would be doing, let's say, if I log in as a user, visitor, then I should not get a add new shop. I should get a add new shop only if I log in as a shop owner, right? So in that way, uh, and if possible, I will also go ahead and implement the email functionality. That is, whenever I log in as register as a user, my email goes off to the registered email ID, whatever registered email ID I give over here, right? The email goes off over there. So that is also something I will try to implement, and I will keep on recording it so that it becomes easy for you to follow. So give me 2-3 days time for this to finish, right? I will publish it in the same playlist in the YouTube where we have that now bit.ly angular shop, right? It was pointing to the playlist on YouTube, right? So that's where I will go ahead and publish it. Make sense? So that you'll have something to follow. And that's all from my side. Today is going to be our last day for the session. If there is any query, feel free to ask. If there is something more you want me to record, please let me know. I will include that when I code the solution, partial remaining solution, right? Anything you would want to ask, guys? Any query? We are done for the day. Our session is done. Yeah, welcome, Amal. Yeah, I will commit this code to GitHub. I am not yet committed. I forgot. Sorry. Today was, I think, day 4. Yeah, committed, right? So I have committed whatever is there. Fine. So you can take it from the repo. I'm sharing the repo URL in case in the chat window. I'll also get it shared via email, right? Chalo then, bye. Take care. Yeah.